So here's a fun little moment of road rage I have to share from the catalog today. At a four-way intersection, we're coming from the north, turning west, at the same time that everyone from south was getting an advanced turn left to the west as well. There's two lanes up the west road, even though it's a single turning lane at the intersection. This is because it's also a highway, so everyone coming from the east comes from two lanes. That said, up the hill a bit, west, it becomes one lane. And I'm sorry that I don't have any visuals. It was harder to draw than it is to describe, and seeing what a mess describing it is, I hope that you can sympathize with me because I did try drawing it several times. Anyway, everyone local here knows this about how the roads are, so instead of fan out after taking the advanced turn, because there are two lanes, people typically all stay on the left. Unless you're an asshole who wants to gun it for less than a minute in the right lane to try and get ahead of everyone. The signage is pretty clear that the right lane ends, but there's still a lot of people who obliviously drive down it until it physically ends, and merge in really poorly. Yet I digress. Coming from the north, not part of everyone else's simultaneous advanced turn, we merge into the left lane as soon as we can at the nearest appropriate gap. We all go up the hill single file. When the lane ends, everything seems totally fine. The next intersection has a red light. We stop at it in the straight through lane. The guy who was behind us rolls around us into the left only turn lane. I happened to look as they passed and thought that the vibe was off, so I mentioned to Z that the driver gave us a funny look for some reason. When the light turned green, the guy in the left turn only lane guns it straight forward and pulls over to cut us off in the intersection so that he's ahead of us. Truly troglodyte behavior. We're confused, but that's not completely unheard of behavior around here, so we keep driving like we would. Get through the intersection, drive a minute behind him, and then signal that we're going into the next intersection's left turn only lane because we are turning left. And for context, this is an unusually long left turn lane. As we go into the left turn lane, the guy speeds up, and we realize at that moment he thinks we're about to pull the same stunt that he did. He thinks we're only going into the left turn lane to speed up and cut him off. Z tests it by matching his speed, and the guy absolutely floors it. So that's 100% what he thought was happening. Because why wouldn't it? He's the one petty enough to have done it already. So I guess when we merged in, all the way back there, he was offended that we went in ahead of him. Because maybe he thought that we were behind him before that, also from the advanced turn, gunned it, and cut in. When in actuality, we just turned on from a completely different direction at the same time as their light was going. Z being Z, led him on and raced him a bit, because it was so stupid that this guy was turning his own crappy perception and response to the situation of what he thought was happening, that we're just trying to be petty and want to play a game of leapfrog, cutting each other off back and forth now. And I hate that. The guy, and for Z indulging him, responding to his assholery. It didn't teach the guy anything to push his buttons like we were going to pass him too. If anything, it justified his dumb idea that us merging in had anything to do with him, enforcing that we were the assholes who cut in from further down his line. Z ended up missing the stop by a couple feet, because we did actually want to turn left, and had only intended to go left until that guy acted passive-aggressively. Thankfully, that was okay, as in, not totally as unsafe as it could have been, because it was only a three-way, so nobody could have hit us anyway. And I'm not here to necessarily rant about my boyfriend, although I don't approve of his behavior either and demanded an apology, but more than his road ragey response, I hate that this situation happened at all. It clicked in both of our heads what was happening at the same time. Like, oh, this guy is mad because he thinks we cut him off. So, he cut us off with illegal moves and now thinks that we're about to reciprocate. Like, what the fuck is that? Road rage is one of the most nonsensical things to me. Like, I get it when I see it. I know what mental gymnastics people are doing, but I am so unable to separate the reality of the situation into something purely emotional. That we are in speeding metal death traps. And I would always rather just back off and comply and accommodate anyone who is driving poorly or dangerously rather than challenge them, because it's not worth getting in an accident. Am I the crazy one here? Just a little pushover that's actually enabling their misguided superiority and shitty behavior by not doing anything? Because honking is the appropriate response. Fucking honk all you want. But how do people ever let themselves get swept up by someone shitty driving enough that they forget how dangerous it is to egg them on? They're the ones who just displayed that they're a reckless driver. Why are you challenging them? It only ever makes it worse. What good does escalating do? They never learn a lesson. That's kind of the point of road rage in its worst cases. Both sides think they're right until it escalates to the point that someone gets hurt. And then what? Who's the asshole now?